ethos.
Have you ever been inspired by a dirtbag? If not, you will today. I'll explain on the next Simple Step podcast. I'm Paul Goldsmith. Yvon Chouinard is a self-proclaimed, at least, existential dirtbag. And the founder of the clothing brand Patagonia. They recently made news when he announced he was donating the entire $3 billion company to saving the planet. He's donating all the shares of the company to a trust devoted to environmental causes. Now, some have accused him of doing it as a ploy, maybe to avoid taxes or some marketing stunt. Maybe so, but he seems pretty consistent over the years since he founded the company over 50 years ago. For all the virtue signaling of celebrities and most everyone on social media with their hashtag activism, it's inspiring to see someone lead by example, put their money where their mouth is. Not just tell us to use less water to shower or stop using plastic or walk to school and work. He's committing his entire fortune to a cause that he's committed to, climate change. After all, he founded Patagonia because he was an outdoorsman. He liked to surf and mountain climb, and so he started creating products for people like him. So what about you? What deeply held convictions or worldviews do you have that you could take a step forward to living that out more transparently at home or at work? Chouinard was interviewed by Guy Raz in 2016 for the How I Built This podcast, and he shared his philosophy for how he does it.
I learn everything by if I get an idea, I immediately take a step forward and see how that feels. And if it feels good, I take another step. If it feels bad, I step back. You know, it's different than people with a scientific view where they think everything out to the nth degree before they make a move. So I learn by just doing.
Let me ask you, what next simple step that you know deep down in your heart that you ought to take? What's stopping you? I think we all suffer from paralysis by analysis at times and getting stuck in the overwhelming desire to do things to the nth degree. But what if you could just break it down into simple steps? And the best way to be authentically you is to start today and take one step after another and not try to live by anyone else's standards. I mean, that's a part of growing up, becoming an adult, is taking ownership of your life and decisions and not have a victim mentality. And that's one of the things I love about being an entrepreneur. You kind of make up the rules as you go and can't really complain about the boss or my pay scale or benefits. I have to go out into the world and create value in order to get paid. And I kind of like that. I learn by experience, and I think that's exactly how Yvon does it. He explained his philosophy for making his own rules to Guy Raz.
I was always the shortest guy around. I could play sports pretty well, team sports, but when it came time for an actual game, I would fumble the ball. And I realized that the best thing to do is invent your own sports, then you can always be a winner. And so that's what the entrepreneur does. They just say, this is wrong, I'm going to do it this other way. And if you want to be successful in business, you don't go up against Coca-Cola and these big companies. They'll kill you. You just do it differently. You figure out something that no one else has thought about, and you do it a totally different way. And so breaking the rules, you have to be creative. And that's the fun part of business, actually.
Totally agree. Making your own rules and seeing the world with an abundance mindset, I really think is key, rather than us versus them or trying to beat others at their game instead of doing your own thing and doing it with excellence and not trying to be better than someone else, because each of us are uniquely gifted with talents and abilities and experiences. And thus, I think we'd all be better off if there were fewer copies and more originals. Simon Sinek has a whole book on this where he proposes that we view work as an infinite game and through an abundance mindset, not one of scarcity. What he describes as the infinite game, he proposes that trying to be the best in the world at anything is a fool's errand. multiple players can do well at the same game. So rather than Patagonia trying to compete with The Gap or Nordstrom or REI, he's creating a unique quality product that he himself uses. And they actively encourage people to get their clothing repaired rather than purchase new clothing as part of their commitment to being better for the planet and create less waste. And I think there's a lesson in that for all of us in being different by design. If I can help you think differently, think through an idea, then I would be honored to help. Just send me a text on the hotline. It's 559-574-3210. Thanks for listening to the Next Simple Step Podcast.